Sometimes I come down here and I'm not prepared. I don't have anything planned out to say, even though I got these papers here that mean nothing really. I want to show you a video. I changed the setup a bit and it's not working. My setup just doesn't work. What do I talk about? I guess you talk about what you feel, right? I've been feeling bad for members. Last night okay guys, people call that hotline number, right? And I appreciate that and I love it and I want more of it. But you don't hear all the calls. Not the calls that I don't play. I respond to and I interact with members sometimes. So the following, what I'm talking about, is nobody that I've played on YouTube. But you get into conversations with members. And there's members out there that are suffering right now. They are. And it brought me right back. And I'm not just talking about constables. I'm talking about supervisors too. Supervisors a lot of the time get the short end of the stick. Even the good ones. Even the good ones get the short end of the stick. This is such a bad start. It's such a depressing start, and I didn't mean to do that. But I started talking to a couple of members that I don't even know. I don't know these people. We're talking. And they're telling me stuff that I went through as a cop. And nothing's changed. Nothing. And so I relive it. And I know exactly what they're talking about. I know exactly what they're going through. And I'm up till 1 o'clock last night. 1 o'clock in the morning. I usually go to bed at, I don't know, early. And I wake up at 5 in the morning. Nightmares. From 1 o'clock to 5. Nightmares. This stuff it affects you. I'm not saying everybody's suffering out there, but if you are, I understand it. There's a lot of members suffering. A lot don't even know it. But I had nightmares all last night from the conversations I had with other cops that are going through things. And they don't know what to do. Because you never know what to do, right? You can't really do anything, it seems like. The nightmares were creepy. A couple were sexual. I'm just kidding. If they were sexual, it involved my wife. But just messed up. You get up at 5 in the morning, you make a pot of coffee. Brought me back. I know what you guys are going through. I know what you're going through. And what do you do? What do you do as a member that's going through a tough time at work? I'm not even talking about home. For me, if work was bad, home was bad. If work was good, home was good. But what do you do when you don't know what to do? What do you do? How do you get away? How do you get away? How do you fix it? How do you fix it? Because at the end of the day, nobody's held accountable. Bad supervisors make good supervisors bad. And what happens to a bad supervisor, right? They infect. They infect other members. Hey, Clint, can you come in the office? How many times? I want to talk to you. Leave me alone. I used to play hide and go seek sometimes at the detachment to get away from them. No, I don't want to go in your office. Nobody wants to go into your office. But just hearing the stories of what's going on out there, and you think, nah, fuck, it's fucked. It's fucked. These bad supervisors, it doesn't even matter if there's a lawsuit involved. So you're a cop and you're in a lawsuit. I've never been in one. But what happens, right? You get paid some money. What happens to the bad supervisor? They get promoted. They go from corporal to sergeant to staff sergeant. You know who you are. To inspector. My dad said, you know, Clint, you should write a book. And I'm like, nah, give me a microphone. A creepy microphone and a video camera. They need to be held accountable, but they never are. Even after a lawsuit, even after a harassment claim, they're never held accountable. They get promoted. And you wonder what's wrong with the Rcmp. Well, they're running the show. When you say they, when you say the Rcmp, that's who I'm talking about. The ones who are corporal and assholes get promoted. You become a corporal, easy pickings to become a sergeant or a staff sergeant. Anybody can. Anybody can. And the more I think about the process, the more I hate it. I could have easily been a staff sergeant. If I was a cop, I would easily be a staff sergeant. And I hope a good one. I don't even know. Because I've been around so many bad supervisors and seen so many bad things that maybe they messed up my mind. And that's what they do, don't they? The bad ones mess up your mind. And you don't even realize it until you retire. And you won't until you retire. I promise you. I love the Rcmp. I love the members. But I don't like the bad ones. There's bad constables, there's bad supervisors. When I hear these calls, when I hear what people are saying, it brings me right back and makes me sick to my stomach. I want to just puke my brains out. How do you hold them accountable? I don't know the answers. A lawsuit ain't doing it. A harassment claim ain't doing it. They get promoted. They get promoted. So what's the answer? Is this the answer? But I don't want to be calling people out. NPF has your back. Do they? I hope so. I hope they do. I don't know, though. Who has your back? If you got a problem at work, you need to fight. Don't lay back. Don't trust them. Okay? If you get a hint of badness and the next conversation is good, don't trust that. That's how you get sucked in. I always hated it when I would hear the bad supervisors say, hey, you don't like being a cop? Like they would just throw that off. Not talking to me personally, but if you don't like being a cop, then quit. Easy for them to say, right? Quit and do what? Give up my badge and do what? Work at Payless? Friar John's? You don't even know what that is. Cook fish and chips? Like, what do you do? Easy for them to say. If you're not enjoying it, some people's minds are strong as fuck. Have you ever heard the people that say, nothing bothers me, I don't care, I don't care. I don't know if I really believe it, but the ones that, I always looked up to those people. How do you not care? You don't care? What do you mean you don't care? It doesn't bug you? Some people have a strong mind. How great would that be to be able to take it for 20 years? The pounding of a fucking supervisor. Just pounding the shit out of your mind, not even knowing that the supervisor is doing that. and not let that bug you. How do you not let that bug you? That's great. I wish I had that gift. I do. And I'm only talking about bad supervisors, guys. Even the good ones, they get punished because they have a supervisor who's an asshole. It's endless. It's endless. What's wrong with the Rcmp? Leave members alone. Stop enforcing your rule of thought. You're not God. You're not even good. You're not even close to being good. So who do you think you are telling people your logic? Your logic sucks. And yeah, I'm talking to you. And you know who you are. I hate the bullshit. I hate the shit of people saying you got to hold them accountable. But nobody is. Nobody's holding them accountable. Nobody is. So how do you do that? I guess you talk about it. Maybe you write a book. Maybe you throw on a stupid, creepy video camera, a microphone, and you talk about it. I don't know, but I was upset yesterday. I was upset. Reliving everything. And I will talk about everything. I'll talk about the good things, and I'll talk about the bad things. And I'll be fair. Thank God there's going to be a union. Is it going to help? Well, maybe. Maybe if they change the NCO process. You have to get a certain mark. You could be the best boss in the world, but the only way you could get promoted is if you get a good score and you write a good resume. How does somebody so shitty get promoted from corporal to staff sergeant? And I don't want to be intimidating. This is not what the podcast is about, but I feel angry from what I've heard and what I've learned. It makes me angry. And sad. Really sad. And thankful that I don't have to go through it anymore. Fucking leave members alone. Fucking leave them alone. You need to leave members alone. Why wouldn't you be on their side? And guys, if you're not enjoying your RFT, that's normal. I want to hold them accountable. But I also want to talk about the Rcmp because I love it and I love members. I don't like the bad ones. But they need to be held accountable. I'm fired up, guys, from listening to when I called back these members. I'm fired up. I'm not going to show the video tonight. I'm not. I probably shouldn't have came down here. I'm going to review this in the morning. It's garbage. I'm not making sense because I'm not really saying what I want to say. You guys got so much to look forward to when you retire. If you're doing great in the RS, if you're struggling, you got a lot to look forward to. If you're new, if you got a couple of years, I think it'll get better. It'll get better. But you need to fight. You need to change things up. You need to figure it out. If you love it, then you love it. And great. That's awesome. That's awesome, right? but I worry about the ones that don't like it. And I've seen so much suicide. I've seen suicide. I've seen members. I've seen supervisors cause suicide. Yeah. What happens to them? Well, they die. That member gets promoted. This is kind of a hate talk that I'm having right now. And I came down to show a taser video. And I don't know, I guess I'm just, but you don't know what I just heard. And you don't feel sorry for me, that's not what I'm saying, but it was on my mind. And what's my message? What's my message? Things are going to get better. I guarantee you things are going to get better. And stop trusting people that you know you shouldn't trust. I think I'm starting to figure this podcast thing out in my mind. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm not talking about the Rcmp. I'm talking about all police. Do you know how hard it is to go out into a negative environment? Because that's what you do. You deal with complainants. So you're dealing with people that complain all the time. All the time. Is that positive? No, that's negative. And then you come back to the detachment. And that's negative. Because bosses are bored, guys. They got nothing better to do. They do nothing. The big ones, the staff sergeants, the inspectors, they do fuck all. They focus on, how can I get promoted? I know what I'll do. I'll talk to this cop and I'll write down a paragraph on what I said to that cop because I'm helping that cop out. But what if that supervisor is fucked in the head? And a lot of them are. Infection. Okay, I'll just end it there. And I don't know. Bye-bye. Yeah.